So join the palms together in the Amajali Mudra. Let's invoke Swamiji, our beloved Guru, followed by 3 times the Mahavakya. Get deep breath. Nityanandam Paramasukaram Kevalam Jnanamutim Vandvatitam Gagana Shatrisham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Savadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunadahitam Satguruntam Namami. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Once again, a very warm welcome to everybody, all the seekers, to this very, very fascinating session on Bhagavad Gita, Insight for Seekers. Today we're going to explore Karma Yoga, chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita Decoded. So let's get into the next slide. Next slide.
Well, we're already on the next slide already. Flow of the chapter 3, Karma Yoga.
Yes, thank you. Because there's a little bit of delay in the Wi-Fi. So all right.
Okay.
So in today's session, we're going to cover these few things. So we're going to quickly recap on chapter 2 for the benefit of people who didn't attend last session. So very quickly, so that you have continuity from last to this session. And then we're going to also focus on a few things from Karma Yoga on to act or not to act. To act is human nature, and the Karma Yoga, which is the beauty of purposelessness. Okay, so and then we'll have the after pramana given by Swamiji. So with that, let's enter into the next slide.
Okay, Ma, next slide already.
Yeah. So with that, I'd like to hand over to Sri Vedavyasa to guide us to invoke the presence of Sri Krishna through the mantra. Nityanandam.
Nithyanandam, everyone. So let us start invoking Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramarthanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. This means, I salute unto you, Bhagavan Krishna, Guru, Master of the world, Son of Vasudeva, Supreme Bliss of Devaki, Destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura. Next. Now, we will chant the mantra. Now we will chant the mantra to invoke the sacred knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatin Ashtadasadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. This means, Om, I meditate upon you, Bhagavad Gita, the affectionate Divine Mother, showering the nectar of Advaita, non-duality, and destroying rebirth incorporated into the midst of Mahabharata of 18 chapters by sage Vyasa, the author of the Puranas, and imparted to Arjuna by Bhagavan Sriman Narayana himself. Next. Now, I will give a small recap about what we did in Sankhya Yoga. Chapter 2. I'll give the summary which will lead into the Karma Yoga. Please understand, what did Bhagavan say? All the people who missed last class. Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, you are God. Drop the powerlessness and stand up. Surrender is not based on powerlessness. He says, we never cease to exist. The only reality is impermanence. So, make your perception pure and patternless. You are immortal. Understand, O Arjuna. And he's explaining that any root pattern you carry can be destroyed if you just have love for people. Decide to go and enrich everyone who is happening in your life. Do not fear death. You are imperishable. And death is just a passage. Bhagavan is telling again and again the same thing. He is declaring to Arjuna, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is declaring to Arjuna, O Bharata, whatever is permanent and real was unmanifest before it became manifest. In the middle, avyaktadini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata means in the middle, and again it will become unmanifest. Avyakta nidhananya eva means, understand, he's saying, O Bharata, whatever is permanent and real was unmanifest before it became manifest. In the middle, and again it will become unmanifest. So therefore, what is the need to lament? Tatraka paridevana means he's going on when Arjuna is lamenting about Svajanam. Krishna is asking, what is the need to lament? And Krishna wants Arjuna to reclaim his inner space, which is occupied by his self-doubt. Sri Krishna is trying to bring Arjuna out of his root pattern. His dilemma, which has obscured his normally clear vision. Sri Krishna is trying to get Arjuna to transcend his conditioned actions based on fear and greed relating to the killing of his kinsmen, his so-called Svajanam, his people. Bhagavan is getting Arjuna to act out of completion, out of his Swadharma, without worrying about the outcome. So I hope everybody are understanding. Now, I will tell you punchlines, what Bhagavan is giving. Experience matters, not knowledge. Act without worry. Act without worry about results. Otherwise, suffering happens when we link thoughts. So, what should be done? Be steady with authenticity in action. Seek the unattached. Be steady in wisdom of completion. Be complete in the present moment. See, I hope you guys remember these important vakyas which Lord Krishna gave. He's saying, seek the unattached. Be steady in wisdom of completion. And be complete in the present moment. He's saying, experience matters, not knowledge. So we should be acting without worry about the results. Suffering will happen when we link thoughts. And we need to be steady with authenticity in action. Wow, such beautiful vakyas to be taken back home. Please understand, completion makes you experience the Sankhya of life. In this second Adhyaya chapter of Gita on Sankhya Yoga, or transcendental knowledge of completion, Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, who is the space of completion himself, sets Arjuna on the path of completion in Sankhya Yoga. A part of Sankhya Yoga is also Buddhi Yoga. So Sri Krishna tells Arjuna that knowledge of the self is the supreme path to enlightenment. He explains the veritable self. Krishna tells Arjuna to shed all root patterns of fear. Abandon his desires and go beyond success and failure. To practice authenticity in action, to be unattached. See, understand, I'm going very slow because each line, every line is a truth by itself. I don't even have to build the context. Every line is a truth. So for all the truths to settle inside, please listen deeply. He's telling, Bhagavan is telling about the nature of the indestructible self. He's asking Arjuna to shed all root patterns of fear, abandon his desires, go beyond success and failure. He's asking Arjuna to practice authenticity in action, to be what? Unattached. Please understand, essence of Sankhya Yoga is completion, and he already gave such beautiful instructions to, not instructions, I should say, understandings to Arjuna. So what is Arjuna going to do in this Karma Yoga? All these understandings. Please understand? All these understandings to shed root patterns, abandon desires, go beyond success, failure, practice authenticity in action. That should be done only to be unattached. All these things are the understandings of Karma Yoga. Please understand. Bhagavan is going deeper now. He's explaining about the actions. But here you see, Arjuna is still in the space of inauthenticity. He's confused as to what he should do. At one level, he understands what Bhagavan Sri Krishna says to him. At one level, he is understanding. But however, when Bhagavan is explaining about the spirit living on, the permanence of the soul, spirit lives on while the body dies, and the idea that all those he is about to fight and destroy have already been destroyed in the cosmic sense, this truth is not appealing to Arjuna. Why is it not appealing? Because Arjuna is a warrior. To him, what is seen in front of him is what is existing. Understand? What is seen in front of him is what exists. What is he seeing in front of him? He sees all his elders, relatives, arrayed against him in battle to kill them or to be killed. That's it. He's finding the choice is difficult. He doesn't even want to face the choice. This is the physical reality that he faced. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna tells him not to take this reality seriously. He says, all the living people in front of him are already dead. And therefore, he is committing no sin by killing them again. Please understand. How will a normal person understand? Practically, you're seeing people alive in front of you. But Krishna is saying, this is not reality. All the living people in front of you are already dead. You are only killing them again. How do anybody believe? In fact, Bhagavan is saying, in fact, if you don't fight with them, you're going to be out of integrity. By running away from the battle as an inauthentic coward. And Bhagavan is also telling Arjuna that he has the right to do his duty, but no right to its results. Let not the fruit of action be your motive, and let not your attachment be to inaction either. Krishna is warning him. Listen carefully. He's saying, let not the fruit of action be your motive, and let not your attachment be to inaction either. So, any normal human being in front, whatever is there, he's perceiving. But real reality only Bhagavan knows. Now, after this, Arjuna is even more confused. He's totally confused. He tells Krishna, I do not understand what you are saying. First, you are telling me to fight. Then you tell me to shed anger. You are saying I must kill my enemies, who are my elders and relatives. But then again, you are saying I should not worry about the end result. All these things Arjuna is asking Krishna. And Arjuna is saying, tell me one thing, Bhagavan. All I need to know is whether I should act or not. You say knowledge is superior to action. And yet you say, I must act. What should I do? He asks. Please understand here, guys. Arjuna is clearly in violence. Asking, expecting, or thinking only one act can be important is violence. Only violence asks for instruction without inspiration. Please understand, all this while, Bhagavan is trying to make Arjuna understand. He's not instructing. Please understand, anybody instructs you something goes wrong, you will ultimately blame them, isn't it? If you don't have a proper understanding. So here, only violence asks for instruction without inspiration. Why, you know? A violent person cannot be inspired. He can only be instructed. Arjuna is asking for a single instruction from Krishna. He says, tell me clearly what is. Arjuna's pattern of asking for only a single best instruction is the pattern of violence. By asking for a clear instruction, now what? He can hold Bhagavan Krishna responsible for his own inauthenticity and escape the responsibility for his actions. Do you understand? When somebody is asking for a single best instruction, means what? We can hold them responsible for our own inauthenticity and escape the responsibility for our actions. That's what it means. Isn't it? Anyhow.
Yes, that sounds like a cunning mind. Right? It sounds like a cunning mind. When you don't want to take responsibility and you just say, I'll give you the instruction. And then after that, the thing messed up, you just point finger at the person who gave you the instruction. That is such a classic act of inauthenticity.
Classic act of inauthenticity projected very innocently, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Any onlooker will think, wow, Arjuna is surrendering. That's why he is asking instruction from his guru. No, that's not the case, isn't it?
Too subtle. Need to really, get into the depth of that, the inside of the thinking. This is brilliant.
Anyhow, to act or not to act, he's saying. So Arjuna is saying, "O Janardhana, why do you urge me to engage in this terrible war? If you think that knowledge is superior to action, O Kesava," why is he saying Kesava? He's addressing, because Lord Krishna killed the Rakshasa Keshava. Here, see how cleverly Arjuna is putting. Why do you urge me to engage in this terrible war? As though he is full of ahimsa, non-violence, and as though Krishna is violent. That's why he's saying Keshava, he's addressing. Means the one who killed the Rakshasa, why are you asking me to engage in terrible war? Indirectly. And Arjuna is saying, my intelligence is confused by your conflicting words. Therefore, please tell me certainly what is most beneficial for me. Then what will Bhagavan say? Arjuna is addressing Bhagavan, O Keshava, the one who killed Keshava. Here Bhagavan is addressing Arjuna, O sinless Arjuna. See the compassion of Bhagavan. He did not say, how you are addressing me that way. No doubt, addressing Bhagavan that way in a prayer is different, but using that word here in this context, so Arjuna really means something else, isn't it? And on top of that, he's saying, tell me certainly what is most beneficial for me. So Bhagavan says, O sinless Arjuna, as I said before, in this world, there are two paths of firm faith. Jnana Yoga, the path of self-knowledge for the intellectual people, and Karma Yoga, the path of action of the knowing. Understand? There are two paths in this world for firmly being in faith. Jnana Yoga, the path of self-knowledge for the intellectual people, and Karma Yoga, the path of action of the knowing. Please understand, a person does not attain freedom from action by abstaining from work, nor does he attain fulfillment by giving up action. Please understand, you cannot attain freedom from action by escaping from work, or you cannot have fulfillment by giving up. Because to act is human nature, isn't it? To act is human nature. Surely, not even for a moment can anyone stand without doing something. We are always in action, whether in outside we are doing some action or inside inner chattering, even that is an action. Without doing anything, can we relax? So, a man is always in action, despite himself, as this is his very nature. Do your prescribed work, as doing work is better than being idle. Even your own body cannot be maintained without work. So what should you do? Do work with devotion, drop expectation. Karma Yoga means dropping expectation, working with courage of authenticity. Sri Krishna says, a karma yogi, one who lives the path of authenticity in action, is a man who relaxes into Nithyananda and does his work from the space of completion. Very beautifully, Bhagavan described here. Bhagavan is also very beautifully explaining Karma Yoga. He says Karma Yoga is
Sri Vedavasha, can you give us more information about Karma Yoga? Why is it called the beauty of purposelessness?
Yes. Okay. Beauty of purposelessness. Yes, in Karma Yoga, Bhagavan is explaining about beauty of purposelessness. What is this beauty of purposelessness? Work has to be performed selflessly. Otherwise, work binds one to this world. Please listen. Work has to be performed selflessly. Otherwise, what will happen? Work will bind you to this world. He says, Bhagavan says, O son of Kunti, perform your work for me, and you will do it authentically, liberated and without attachment. Act without attachment, he's saying. And he's saying, one should work always without attachment. Performing work without attachment, certainly man achieves the supreme. And King Janaka and others attained perfection by selfless enriching. So he says, to guide other people, you too must act selflessly. Only selfless people enrich and liberate. Because selfless enriching liberates you. They're very profound and mind-blowing truths. Please understand, just in one line, look at him. He's saying, act without attachment. Finish. Selfless enriching liberates. Finished. What more is there? So let us see, what is Bhagavan talking about? What does Bhagavan mean by selfless enriching liberates? See, Bhagavan is saying that enriching should be practiced because everyone is part of us. Nobody is separate from us. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna is very clear about it. Listen, if you are not enriching, but only taking and enjoying, you are a thief, asteya. You should learn asteya, non-stealing. Only when you continuously enrich others, non-stealing will be maintained. Asteya will be maintained. Enriching is where life happens to you. Please understand, all beings grow from food grains. From rains, the food grains become possible. The rains become possible from selfless sacrifice of enriching. Sri Krishna says that rains become possible from the enriching sacrifice. Enriching means sowing the seed for the fruit to happen. Means integrity is the root, authenticity is the tree, responsibility is the fruit, enriching is sharing the fruit to create more fruits. So Bhagavan is saying every person who eats the fruit is responsible for sowing the seed for more fruits to happen. So he says, O Partha, when you do not enrich every person with the fruit of enriching, after constantly being enriched by the sacrifice of the existence, the supreme, which is the existence, we are enriched by its sacrifice only. And after receiving all this, if you don't enrich every person with that fruit of enriching, your life becomes full of sins and you live a useless, incomplete life. That in turn brings the cycle of more and more incompletions. Please understand, existence has provided. It is providing, and it will go on providing for each and every one of your needs. Bhagavan is very clear. Because everyone is part of us, nobody is separate from us. Enriching should be practiced, otherwise we will become a thief. Not become, actually, we are thief if we are not doing it. So we have to learn the principle of asteya, non-stealing, quality. Here, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says a beautiful thing. He gives a apta pramana here. A small story. Apta pramana of Bhagavan Krishna. The king Janaka. Understand, you know, King Janaka is Sri Ramachandra's, Lord Sri Ramachandra's wife, Sita. Sita's father. Okay? So King Janaka was a beautiful example of a true karma yogi. Please understand, he was a great king. In spite of that, he was a true karma yogi, a man of selfless authenticity in action, with a continuous commitment to enriching life in and around him. He was a king. He ruled a kingdom and yet was unattached, liberated. Just like Krishna, who ruled a kingdom and yet was a sannyasi in the truest sense of the word, Janaka was a model king who was complete unto himself, untouched by the external world. Once, an ascetic went to the court of King Janaka and saw how Janaka was neck deep in the activities of his kingdom, living like a king. He then thought to himself, Janaka seems to be a materialistic person. He is entrapped in so many worldly matters. This ascetic thought like that about Janaka. But Janaka understood what the ascetic was thinking. So Janaka called him and asked him, what kind of an ascetic are you? Instead of being happy and content within yourself, you are trying to find fault with others. This is a grave sin, especially for an ascetic. A person who is supposed to know about these things, for this, I have to give you the most severe punishment. You will be hanged to death next week. Now, the ascetic was terrified. He could not sit in peace. He spent sleepless nights thinking of the gallows. He dreamt daily that his neck was being tied to a rope. He became very thin and pale. Janaka sent a servant to call him on the day of the execution of the punishment. And what happens? The ascetic was unable to stand before the king. He trembled and fell on the ground. Janaka offered him some fruits and a cup of milk. He ate the food, but his mind was on the gallows. Janaka asked him, how do you like the taste of the milk now? Is it good? Did you relish your food these past 7 days? The ascetic replied, O king, I could not taste the food or milk that you offered me just now. My mind is only on the gallows all the time. Janaka said, just like your mind is always on the gallows, my mind is always fixed on the divine. Even though I'm involved in worldly activities, though I am in this world, I am out of the world. So beautifully, hopefully everybody understood. See, just like how this ascetic, because he was so scared about the punishment, that whole week he could not, his mind was so much preoccupied, he could not even taste the food. So Janaka is saying, you thought I am materialistic, but my mind is always fixed on divine, even though I'm living worldly life. So indirectly, what is he saying? Because his mind is fixed on divine, he cannot taste these materialistic things. He is just living in this world, but I am out of the world. I am working for the world, unattached. So you also work for the world, unattached like myself. Janaka, though neck deep in the administration of his kingdom, was completely unattached and liberated. God. So beautiful.
That's so powerful revelation about, so actions without attachment.
Oh,
Oh.
very much. Anyhow. Now, Bhagavan is speaking about responsibility. Krishna now speaks about responsibility to Arjuna. He says, we always feel that responsibility is a burden. No, it is not. It's not a burden, it is a power. Responsibility is the space of leadership. Please understand, whatever action is performed by a great person, whole world follows, others follow. They follow the example set by him. So Bhagavan is saying, nothing binds me. Whatever action I am performing, others follow. So I'm setting an example, he says. And he says, nothing binds me, yet I engage in responsible work. If I do not work, then all these different worlds would be ruined. I would be the cause of creating confusion and destruction. Even the ignorant do their work with attachment to the results. So he's saying, oh Bharata, the wise do so without attachment for the enrichment of the people. There are only two types of human beings on planet Earth. Those who feel responsible for everything and those who don't feel responsible for anything. People who feel responsible, they become leaders. People who don't feel responsible continue to be slaves. He also says, there are some people who don't feel responsible even for their own actions because they forget their action is going to bring its result. They have to reap what they sow, isn't it? So they don't even take responsibility for their own actions, he's saying. So please understand about karma. Understand, karma is nothing but the unfulfilled or incomplete patterns and desires which are inside your being that constantly make you travel in the same path again and again and again, trying to give the experience of completion in your inner space. So understand, you are the one who chooses and acts, but any choice comes with effects and side effects. On seeing the side effects, you feel powerless and blame your fate or destiny. Actually, you are the one who chose it in the first place. Bhagavan is very clear. You are responsible for the cause and effect, as you are source of everything. And he is very clearly telling, you are not the doer. You are not the doer. First, I and mine needs to be understood, he's saying. Please understand, I itself comes from the concept of mind. We think when the sense of I happens, the sense of mine happens. But if you look deeply, our idea of what we think of as ours is what defines what we think of as ourselves. Just imagine if your possessions, your status, your wealth, your relations, all are taken away from you. What will you think of as you? How will you define yourself? Your idea of is it not? And he's telling Arjuna, when you get attached to anything, you start creating suffering for yourself. When you understand that it is the mind and the senses doing what is in their nature, you become detached from your body, mind, and do things with the clear understanding that just the mind, body, and senses are doing their job. I will repeat once more. Listen carefully, deeply. When you get attached to anything, what do? You start creating suffering for yourself. When you start understanding that it is the mind and senses are doing what is there in their nature, then you will become detached from your body and your mind. And then you will start doing things with the clear understanding that just the mind, body, and senses are doing their job. This cognition is the powerful cognition of whole humanity needs to have. What is the understanding? Just my mind, body, and senses are doing their job. We should not even think we should think this mind, body, and senses are doing their job. Our perception and cognition should shift into this instead of I and mine. When you don't understand this, you get caught in what you are doing and you get emotionally attached to all the incidents and people, and you will start living without awareness. God, this is very dangerous, isn't it?
Yes, I think we have a burning question now from the seekers all over the world, Sri Vedavyasa.
Oh,
Basically, Krishna is asking us to detach, right? Become, unattached to the outcome of the result, etc. And so, literally, how to become free from attachment towards result? Because we are very much trained by society to be performance driven, result oriented, and this is like a totally different direction that Krishna is giving, a different instruction. So I think that needs to be understood at a deeper level from a seeker point of view. Can you enlighten us?
very true. Yes, sure. Next. See, here Krishna is saying, do work with devotion. Drop expectation. Drop the very desire. and drop the very expectation. So how to become free from attachment is first starting with devotion. Dropping the very desire and expectation. So you can repeat this chanting when I am saying. So Krishna is saying, Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa nirasir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigata jvaraha ye me matamidam nityam anutisthanti manavaha Shraddhavanto na suyanto muchyante tepi karma bihi. This means dedicating all actions to me with consciousness filled with spiritual knowledge of self, without desire for gain and without sense of ownership, without being lazy. Fight, O Arjuna. He's saying dedicating all actions to Bhagavan with consciousness filled with spiritual knowledge of self, without desire for gain and without sense of ownership, without being lazy. Arjuna needs to fight. Those persons who execute their duties according to my teaching and who follow these teachings faithfully with authenticity, without envy, they will become free from the bondage of fruitive actions. But those who do not regularly perform their duty according to my teaching, they are ignorant, senseless, and ruined. Oh my God. Very direct.
That's like mind blowing. Hey, Ma, Virayavasa, one question came to my mind. There are so many people out there who do not practice with devotion. That's the thing. They're not devoted to anything. So what do? How to come to this devotion part? Because they haven't even recognized or awakened to their spiritual self. They should be devoted to something higher than who they are. Do you understand? Because
Yeah.
many people just think that me, my. So they have not actually awakened to that there's a higher forces out there who is, the supreme, energy, so consciousness. So that they are not able to do this thing, like blessed are those who found a guru or someone who they can worship and they can sort of relinquish all the attachment and mind to the higher forces. But there are a whole bunch of people out there have not even cognized this thing or haven't even discovered this part. So what do we do?
Yes. Here, Ma, see, our Hinduism, that is why Hinduism, please understand, everybody talks as though Hinduism is a religion. But to tell the truth, Hinduism is not a religion. It is the lifestyle of Paramashiva, actually. So when the Big Bang happened, right? When the Paramashiva happened, that time, this lifestyle happened. Later on, it started being called as Hinduism. This Hinduism carries such a beautiful science of this devotion, surrender, enlightenment. That is the reason it gives a beautiful path called Guru Sishya Parampara, where from the beginning, Guru Sishya Parampara is happening century after century. Once the disciple is sent to Gurukul and he starts worshipping the Guru himself and surrenders, that is how they learn devotion. They start learning devotion. That is why I recommend in this modern Kali Yuga that each and every person needs to have an incarnation as their Guru. That will take care of lot of things. I feel you don't even have to cultivate devotion. The moment you are integrated with your Guru, have a Guru first, not ordinary Guru, an incarnation Guru, like how all Sri Paramahamsa Nithyananda Paramashivan's disciples are. He is an incarnation of Paramashiva, and all these disciples have their Guru and worship him as Paramashiva, right? So when an incarnation is your Guru and you are integrated to that Guru, Jnana Yoga, enlightenment, everything will happen by itself without even you doing anything. I feel that is more easy technique than anything, shortcut. That is what I recommend to humanity.
That is one of the most sacred secrets from this chapter, because I even was not, I mean, connecting the dots. You see, for me, we know that this whole lifestyle Gurukul has already pretty much lost, right? By the anti Hindu forces, like they destroyed this whole science of Gurukulam, right? The whole science of going to the Guru and learn from the Guru and then learn the devotion, etc., etc. And by the time they are come of age of 21, they are ready to, they are either enlightened or they're ready to contribute, in a very powerful way in the world. But this system has somehow, what I call it, cunningly been destroyed by a lot of these anti-Hindu forces. So many people grow up, especially what I've seen, like people who are born Hindus, they have lost this whole thread of the devotion. So I think now you have brought up a very, very pertinent point about why we need a guru, why you need a guru, enlightened guru, to again cultivate this surrender devotion.
Correct.
Doing without expectation, attachment.
Yes. So now when Bhagavan said this, right, dedicating all actions to me with consciousness built, what did Arjuna say? Arjuna says, he's still asking, then by what is man forced to commit sinful acts, even without desiring, as if impelled by force? He asked. Then Bhagavan is saying, it is lust and anger, born of the attribute of passion, all devouring and sinful, which is one's greatest enemies in this world. So therefore, see, Arjuna is saying, when this is the way we need to be, why is man committing such sinful acts? Desiring, even without desiring to commit a sin, he's committing. As if impelled by force. Why is it? He's asking. So Bhagavan is saying, lust and anger, which are born from passion and all devouring and sinful, that is the greatest enemy in this world. So therefore, he's saying, O Bharata Sabha, chief Bharata Sabha means chief amongst the descendants of Bharata. In the very beginning itself, he's saying, control the senses and curb the symbol of sin, which is certainly the destroyer of knowledge and consciousness. To be blissful, we need to keep our inner space clean and empty. Only then can bliss fill that space. Did you hear, all of you? He's saying, in the very beginning itself, control the senses and curb the symbol of sin, which is certainly, this sin certainly destroys knowledge and consciousness. So, to be blissful, we need to keep our inner space clean and empty. Only then can bliss fill that space. And Bhagavan is saying, as long as the outer material space is filled without attachment, the inner space remains empty. We drop expectations. We move into the space of completion. He's giving so simple, guys. See, in the beginning itself, he's saying, control the senses. And he's saying, as long as the outer material space is filled with attachment, the inner space remains empty. So he's saying, drop that attachment towards outer space, drop expectations. Then we will move into the space of completion. So essence of, here somebody is asking, why did you say the living people, those that Arjuna need to kill, are dead? Please understand, each character in Mahabharata is one quality and attribute inside us. Actually, we are the ones who give power to it, to that each quality inside us. Otherwise, they're not even existing. So when we are Paramashiva, when Bhagavan itself is Paramashiva, who is it that is being killed? Who is the killer? Please tell me. So Bhagavan is considering already, the people are already dead. All this is an illusion. Actually, why are they already dead? Because Bhagavan is the one, they are going to merge into Bhagavan, isn't it? So Bhagavan already considered them merged into himself. So this outer action holds no importance. It's only a Maya, that as though somebody is killing and as though somebody is being killed. That is why Bhagavan said, all these people are already dead. Because Bhagavan already decided he's removing all these people from the planet Earth. Understand? Anyhow, next, I will tell you the essence of Karma Yoga. So kill these people, he's supposed to kill them. They are the opposite enemy army. His duty itself is to kill them. So he's saying, if you don't attach to the result and if you do your duty, you will incur no sin. The moment you have attachment towards the result, that means what? You are deeply involved in it and you will be bound to it, which becomes a karma, sin. Here, the moment he is expecting, he's just doing his duty without attaching to the result, the sin is not incurred. Okay, now on the whole, I'll give the essence of Karma Yoga. Please listen. This is the whole essence of Karma Yoga. Be complete and drop your attachment to the goal and the fruit of your actions, and live an enriching life with integrity in words, with authenticity in thinking and action, and with responsibility in feeling. Live life blissfully. Krishna says, you will achieve the supreme, you will achieve the eternal consciousness, Nithyananda, eternal bliss. So, let us pray to the ultimate divine, Parar Brahma, Sri Krishna, to help us understand his message, to help us imbibe him in our being. May he guide all of us. May he enrich us to experience the eternal consciousness, the eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Now ends the Karma Yoga, the yoga of action of the Bhagavad Gita Upanishad. Brahma Vidya Yoga Shastra, the scripture of yoga dealing with the science of the absolute in the form of Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvada, means dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is the end of Karma Yoga.
Deep gratitude. Deep gratitude to Sri Vedavyasa, Rishi Vedavyasa. This session has been deeply enlightening. I don't know for the rest of you, but for me, I just caught so many clicks. Many common men are missing. So we do have still some time. Maybe perhaps we can take 1-2 more questions from the audience. Then we will conclude the session with a Puna mantra. So, but basically, I want to thank all of you who you can type the question now under the chat. I'd like to thank all the participants who joined us today for this session, and your active listening to this ultimate truth by Sri Krishna. And so you can still download the book, if you don't have the book, and start reading. I just want to let you know that next week we will not have the session. We will continue. We resume on the 4th of October. So please catch up with the reading on the 4th chapter. Okay, in the 4th chapter, and then we will come back with the 4th chapter next on the 4th of October. Any questions so far? Let's see if there are any questions from the
Yes, here one person is asking, why when we don't enrich at all is considered a thief, when we did not literally steal a thing? See, understand, enriching means this whole existence, the supreme existence is enriching us. That is the reason life is happening to us. Whatever food we eat is given by rains, he already told. And rains are being possible by existence selflessly sacrificing. So, anybody who's eating that fruit of what existence is sacrificing, they have to sow the seed, whoever eats, for further fruits to happen for other people. When we don't do that, and we are only taking from existence, we are considered to be thieves in the existence view. That is the reason whatever we have, whether it is spiritual knowledge, whether it is our guru, whether it is our food, we go on sharing with people, because existence gave us. We are giving to another person. That person is also part of existence. They are not separate. Nobody is separate from us. So when we are feeding or when we are enriching another person, that means it is equal to contributing back to the existence. That is why we become a thief when we don't enrich what we have. Understand?
Yeah, this is one thing that I remember Swamiji when he was expounding on the Bhagavad Gita in 2011. He said, when you talk about being a thief, we don't go on enriching. He said that whatever spiritual experiences we receive from the cosmos, from masters or the truth, you have to go and share within 21 hours. Otherwise, you cannot retain that in your system. You will start forgetting, and you start doubting or losing trust in that experience. So when you share, you're not only sowing the seed for that possibility in others, but also that experience get deeply entrenched in you, that you actually will welcome more and more. Cosmos will shower you more and more spiritual experiences. So that is the whole purpose of enriching others with, whether it's spiritual knowledge or your spiritual experiences.
See,
So that
so many, sorry, I interrupted. So many millions of people are there. Why is it only you 17 people are sitting on the screen? That means, don't think this is an accident, or don't think it's because you willed it. No, because universe allowed it and wants something great to happen to you. You are here. So naturally, you need to give this back to some other people around you, because that will come equal to you giving back to gratitude, back to existence, because it allowed you for this change to happen for you, isn't it? That's what it is. Right here. Thank you so much.
yes, let's conclude.
Let us conclude, and I recommend everybody in another 5 days, Paramashivam level 3, next season will start. I recommend everybody, please connect and every day have darshan of Lord Sri Krishna.
There's still one more question. I think Anita asked a question.
Others' expectations of you to be for them should be done. What if their expectations of you are negative? Ma, clearly understand here. Oh my God, if I have to answer this question, I have to go into 4 tattvas, 4 images. See, understand, you will be capable of enriching others' expectations of you to be for them only when the gap between your inner image, outer image, others' image, life's image reduces. Understand? When that reduces, you will see, you will not even attract negative expectations from others. First thing. Second thing, Yes, you have to fulfill anyakara, means expectations of others, whatever they have on you, when you are living in the family life or society or whatever. But when you cannot fulfill them, you should make sure that that anyakara, that expectation is not rising in them. I have told this before. Please understand, our silent permission, we may not say it out, our silent permission in our inner space is what is going to make the other person expect something from you. So when you are not being able to fulfill that anyakara, you should make sure that expectation itself is not raising in the other person. Either that or you have to fulfill it. Mostly when the gap between all your images reduce, the negative expectation also you will not attract. Understand? Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you. So in 5 more days, Paramashivam level 3 will start. Please experience Bhagavan Lord Sri Krishna walking on planet Earth. Come for the darshan. And we have wealth completion session also tomorrow. Please come 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Almost we are done. Just 2 more. Climax of the wealth completion is there. And people are really having breakthroughs. Actually, this was supposed to be a 5-day workshop, but it continued to 11 days and 12 days because each person we are working on and they're having breakthroughs. Okay. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow for wealth completion. Okay. Let us do the Purna Mantra.
Yes, I will conclude with the Purna Mantra. I will also make a humble request for those of you who want to share, please enrich in the group. What is your net takeout from today's session? Just share it in the group. Those who missed the session or those who could not make it, at least your sharing will help them to, still have some the gems of your own understanding of this today's session. So with that, let me just end with the Purna Mantra.
Very
So
true.
join the
All Indians also please do that. Please.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So now join the palms together in your heart center, now Anahata Chakra in the Amanjali Mudra. Let's bow down to Sri Krishna, also our beloved Guru, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, and let's conclude with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sauvam Bhagavad Sri Nithyananda Paramashiva Paduka Paramastu. Om Nit.
Sit with the head, neck, and spine, the line, one straight line. Feel the whole body with your awareness. And begin breathing very slowly and deeply. Inhaling, enter into a neutral zone, a pause. And exhaling, completing, and the second gap. So go on breathing in this fashion such that you start to slow down your breathing and reduce the thoughts per second. Enter into Sravana, listening, authentic listening, listening to the great truth from Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the truth that he's going to reveal to all of us through this sacred text, the Song of God, Bhagavad Gita. So in that restful awareness, we invoke Swamiji's presence, our beloved Guru. So His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. So join the palms together now in Amanjali Mudra in front of our heart center. Let's chant the Sadguru Vandana, followed by 3 times Mahavakya. Take a deep breath. Nityanandam Paramasukaram Kevalam Jnanamutim Vandvatitam Gaganashatrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Savadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunadahitam Satguruntam Namami Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. So once again, a very warm welcome to those people who just joined at the Zoom room. And also we're live now on social media, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So a warm welcome to all of you who are joining us either here or virtually to this another exciting session of Bhagavad Gita Decoded, Insights for Seeker. Okay, so now I would like to go on to the next slide. So we're going to basically go through the flow of chapter 4. Today it's going to be the Jnana Karma Sankhya Yoga. So we will do a quick recap on last chapter, Karma Yoga, for those who did not attend or missed the session. So a very quick recap so that you can follow through from last session to this session. And then